Yo, what's up? What's up? All right, we are jumping into the Git course today. Let's go ahead and run the 3-minute ad, and then we'll chat for a little bit. And let's put some music on too. We'll do our main playlist today. All right. Live. Like usual, you can hear music on Twitch, no music on YouTube. Pick your poison. All right, let me switch accounts. We should be able to do this pretty quickly. Probably before ads end. We're getting a little bit faster at this. Let's go. Let's load all the chats. Be able to see chat in just a second. All right. All right. What's up, Jake? How you doing, man? What's up, Jessa? Happy Tuesday to you as well. How are you guys doing? All right, let's pop out this chat so I can see YouTube. All right. Twitch and YouTube are open. Oh, I have so many tabs. Damn. That's crazy. Next time, I'm just going to sign off and sign on the other account. That's way too many tabs open. All right, are we good? I think we are good. Got Boot.dev. Let's hit refresh. Make sure we're still logged in. And we are good. Let's go. I'm good. Ankle's better today, so I was able to do a workout. Nice. What'd you do for the workout? You don't realize how much you rely on an ankle until it's not as available. Yes, very true. Yeah, wrists and ankles. I think my wrists are getting better. I think they are. I don't know. I'm just going to have to keep it light. I got a lifting session with a buddy on Friday. We'll see what I can do, but I'm just doing a lot of cardio. But honestly, I think I'd rather have a bit of an injured wrist and an injured ankle. I think. Yeah. Push-ups, planks, sit-ups, some cardio. Nice, nice. Nice core workout. I love it. I've been doing a lot of planks. I haven't done sit-ups in a while, just because I probably should start doing them. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of planks. I've been doing a lot of like core exercises that are like really focused on stabilization, like planks and bird dogs, and there's one other. I forgot what it's bridges. Probably should return to sit-ups though. That's pretty cool. Love to see people working out. Planks are best in my opinion Many muscles get trained with them, and core is mega. Yeah, dude. It's so good for your posture. My posture is so much better now. Let's go. I broke mine playing football last summer. Oh, your ankle. Home alone with the kids. It sucked. Getting back my mobility was a priority so you could run from them. I get it. I get it. You don't want to be trapped with those little monsters, right? All right. Dude, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going over with the Boot.dev stuff. I barely use Rebase. I don't know what they mean by internals. But it'll be good to go over this as well. Also, if you want that core strength, farmer carries and Turkish get-ups are awesome. Turkish get-ups. Oh, okay, I gotcha. I've had a tight neck. I need a new mattress topper. I have avoided, because I like farmer's carries. I've avoided that for a while just because my traps were surprisingly built up a little bit more than some of my other muscles. I just always had a tight neck. I feel like my traps build really easily. But I do like, what I was doing is I like farmer's carries with like a dumbbell and just one hand for stabilization. I don't know if you'd call that a farmer's carry. Probably not. You need a new what? Oh, a mattress topper. I have two mattress toppers. One that is too stiff and one that's too loose. Too soft. I need one right in between. Core is most neglected by many people. They don't realize how important it is. Yeah, dude. I didn't give a crap about it when I was lifting a bunch of weight, which is stupid. Well, no, that's not true. I did back extensions. I did planks. But I didn't really care about it. I kind of just did it because I just built it into my workout. I don't even know why. But I didn't really care that much about core stability. Now I do as I'm getting older. But yeah, a lot of people do neglect it. Yep, 100% agree. You guys have the right mindset. All right. I think we're ready. I think chat is in a good spot, like right here. Even do this because we increased the font size, and I think that's good. Let's jump into it. Let's do it. And let me Primogen. All right, get to watch some Prime videos. All right, let's let me post this. It's in the title. I'm not gonna post a pinned comment anymore if it's in the title. Be listening, but doing dishes and folding laundry. All right, sounds good. Okay, we have to route the sound. Maybe I am too old because I'm like, I don't want to turn this music up. I don't want tinnitus, or like, I don't want my tinnitus to get worse. Maybe I am getting old. Damn. Is that like the signal that you're finally kind of like getting old? You start being responsible? I feel like you're supposed to be responsible like way younger. Maybe it just took me a lot of years. I don't know. As a slow learner. Because I feel like I've been pretty... I don't know. I don't think I've been that irresponsible. That's not true. I've been stupid, but not irresponsible. All right, let's go. Git is the distributed version control system. VCS. Nearly every developer in the world uses it to manage their code. It is quite a monopoly on VCS. Developers use Git to keep a history of their code changes, revert mistakes made in their code, collaborate with other developers, make backups of their code, and much more. Let's go.
In 2005, after license disputes with BitKeeper, Linus Torvalds, creator of Linux, you may have heard of it, sort of runs the web, not a big deal, decides to write his own version control. He wrote Git in 5 days, and within a couple years, it became a widely used version control, and now, today, it is the de facto standard for all developers. To be clear, when I say Git, I don't mean an insult from across the pond, and I don't mean GitHub, GitLab, Stash, or any of the others. All of those companies use Git. They are not Git. Git allows you to track code changes over time by author with a set of commands to search, manipulate, and revert history. In simple term, Git creates a commit. A commit is just a set of changes tied to an author, time of day, and other information. As many commits as you want can be added to the graph. At any commit, you can branch off and create new commits on the new line. Any of these branches can be merged into any other branch, including the main line. Commits can be squashed into one commit, and commit messages can be edited. Also, Git commits can be reverted, just in case they don't want terrible code. Git is a very complicated piece of software, but the interface and operations are very simple. And in this course, we're going to be going over installing and configuring Git, porcelain and plumbing commands, inspecting Git history, branching, merging, and rebasing, undoing changes, and remote repos and GitHub. I hope you enjoy this course, and in about another month or two, I will be releasing part 2, which will go over all the advanced features, advanced techniques with merges and rebases and conflicts, and of course, just really diving into some of the more complex parts of Git. But in this course, you should be able to get everything you need to become quite proficient in the real world, including understanding how Git works. The name is the Gitogen.
All right. All right, so we're really going over the fundamentals with this. All right, cool. Throughout this course, you'll be using the Boot.dev CLI to run our tests, which are just CLI commands against your local environment. Install it now. If you don't already have it. All right, let's do it. Install Go. All right, we got some steps to run. Linus Gotta Programmers. I'm perpetually irresponsible, so cannot say gotcha. We're all a little bit irresponsible, for sure. All right, I guess we're installing this. Troubleshooting option is the simplest way. Just run this in your terminal. Official installation instructions. Okay. Run Go version. What are the official? Here, let's put the music back on. I don't know. I don't know if there's big difference. Might as well do the official, right? Okay. Apple 64-bit processor. I don't know. Intel or Apple? Intel, right? It's Apple M2 Pro chip, so it's Apple. ARM 64. How do you know what... Let's see, ARM 64? For the Mac Minis, so if I have an M2, that's ARM 64? Yeah, Yeah, because x86 is the old chips that Apple used to use, right? They were just Intel chips. Okay, cool. All right, we're installing Go. It's installing. Hold. Anything M is ARM. Okay. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Commandos. Come on. Come on. Okay. The boot.dev CLI. We go to boot.dev, we install Go. Installing the boot.dev CLI. So we are going to do, we just do like go-v, right? Official. Run Go version. Goes, okay. All right, there we go. Let's go. All right, and then we are installing boot.dev CLI. Oof. You need to add the directory to your path by modifying your shell's configuration. Oh, yes, source. That's how we reload it. So echo. I'm just going to copy this. So this just adds a line to the end of the file. Is that what this is? Append to. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so echo export path. So we grab the path, then we concatenate, and we grab the home, and go bin, and then append that to bash, or b, what is it? No, not bash, it's zshrc, right? zshrc, yeah. Hats are the same. Looks good. Okay. There we go. All right, let's go. I will only say this. What's up, Yunjay? I am doing well. How are you doing, man? I will only say this. Boot.dev CLI messed my ZSHRC, but it's more my fault than its. Oh, okay. How did it mess it up? Or is it entirely your fault? By the way, you have go added to path as you use go command. And is there something that I typed in that made it seem like, yeah. What did I type to make you type that, Jake? I would assume, like, if I can use go here, I would assume that it's automatically added to the path. So what was the clarifying message for? Did I miss something? I'm going to a developer meetup in 40 minutes, feeling nervous. Oh yeah, what's the meetup about, Trent? Can you clarify that statement, Jake? What did I miss? Man, this coffee's good. I usually have 1 green tea, 1 decaf coffee a day, a little bit of milk, 1 creamer, and it's just like a milkshake for me. And then I have kind of like a chill out tea at night. I've been trying different teas. I didn't see what you were typing because of chat, but did you run this export command or something? So it had nothing to do with Go. The export was added to the SCH for you're right. Gotcha. Wait, that's a good point. For Boot.dev, why did I need to do this? If go bin... Because what happened was, I would be very curious, because now we can run boot.dev, or boot.dev. That's the only way we could run it, is adding that to our config. So why? I'm very curious about that now. That's a good observation. Thanks for calling that out. But evidently, maybe the way, or I don't know, the way boot.dev is coded, we just could not. I don't know. It seems like it didn't automatically add it to the path. If I did it the official way, are you sure? Well, no, because we did go version. I'd be very curious about that, right? Because we did go version, which that worked. We could just type in go, so it was automatically added to the path, but yet boot.dev basically gave us command not found. So if you do have an idea with that, I think it's there to make sure it's added if you would use the curl to install go. But I'll say it again, because I do want to hear your opinion. Boot.dev -- version did not work. We got command not found after we already added go the official way without curl. had to reload after boot.dev and so I don't, because we closed the shell completely and reopened it though. After the boot.dev. I wonder if it, so it had, okay, I guess it's not worth digging into. Yeah, but maybe you're right. After I installed boot.dev, or boot.dev, I keep saying boot. Dude, I swear Lane did that on purpose and just said boot.dev over and over and over because you're literally advertising his link nonstop. I swear that was thought out before he did that. But yeah, maybe it's like after I installed it, yeah. Well, so what you're saying is this should work if we edit it, right? So if we do like nano and Lil Seth Big, welcome. Export. Oh my god. I need like something where I can navigate this a little bit more fluidly. That's probably Vim, right? So if we do this, source, ZSHRC, and then interesting. Okay, good call. Good call. All right, so we didn't need the echo. We probably just needed to refresh our shell. Okay. What's up, Renee? How you doing? Don't you already know Git? Yeah, I use it. Kadao, I feel like you're aware of what's going on though, aren't you? We've been going through the boot.dev course. There's always stuff that I can like refresh with fundamentals. But yeah, we've been going through the boot.dev course I'm pretty sure you've been in here. I think you know what's going on. Oh, what I do want to do. All right, never mind. What's up? What's up, Renee? You're in Twitch and YouTube. All right, cool. Anyways, yeah, makes sense. Cool. We didn't need that. Thank you, thank you. All right, log into the CLI, run boot.dev login to authenticate your boot.dev account. All right. Love it. The boot.dev CLI offers a couple of configuration options that are stored in a config file. Default is boot.dev YAML. All commands have -h help flags if you want to see available options. Base URL for HTTP tests. For lessons with HTTP tests, you can configure the CLI with a base URL that overrides any lesson's default. A common use case for this is when you want to run your server on a port other than the one specified in the lesson. To set the base URL, config base URL. Okay, don't really care about messing with that. Protocol scheme. To get the current base URL, default is an empty string. Run to reset the base URL and revert it to using lessons defaults. Run. Okay, so we're gonna go with default for now. CLI colors. The CLI text output is rendered with extra colors: green, success, red, and gray. Okay, cool. Don't need to customize. Nope, not customizing at all. Get the current colors. Nope, don't care about any of that. But thank you for the options. Tanukste, thanks for the follow. I am 99% sure I butchered that. What's up, man? How's it going? Oh. Bad Cop contributed. She's been in here a few times. Oh, I thought you would skip modules that you're already experienced in? No. We're going through the whole thing. Okay, yeah, maybe you didn't know. I guess maybe I shouldn't assume that. You know what I should do? Like in the descriptions, I should maybe flush out a more thorough description for people to read on YouTube. And I'll do it in the Twitch panels too. Let me do that. Just load Todoist. So create more thorough description for Boot.dev live streams. We can do that. Twitch panels and video description. All right, I like it. But yeah, essentially I'm going through the whole thing because I can refresh my fundamentals a little bit, but I want to like go through the whole Boot.dev experience to actually experience it. Because I did it for Scrimba for the front end curriculum. Let's go through Boot.dev since they're both my affiliate partners. All right, cool. Let's do that. Copy and paste one of the following commands into your terminal. Run this. Submit. What? Run the CLI commands to test your solution. Run. Okay. What am I doing here, though? We're just testing it? Rebasing is based. Rebasing is based. And then submit. So we're logged in. It's going to save it. We got to run it. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I see. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. All right, check the output of your CLI command to see the results. Error code of 0. Rebasing is based. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's go. Install Git. Git is a command, so I don't even know what version we're on. I have no idea. 2.39. You see a version number, you're good to go. Run and submit the tests. Run and submit the tests. Oh, here. Okay, Mac OS. We got Git running already. So, run. Version, cool. Let's submit. Let's go. RTFM. One of the best parts of using Git is that all the documentation is fantastic, but that wasn't always the case. Git was known as being the most obtusely documented tool of all time, but alas, times have changed. Assignment. Let's take a look at the official Git manual. Run the following command in your terminal. Shortcuts. One line. Yep. Search for the term authors. Is there a search? Search for term. So if we do / authors. Git was started by Linus Torvalds. Oh, really? I had no idea. And is currently maintained by Junio. Who the fuck is that? Numerous contributions have come from the Git mailing list. Gives you a more complete list of contributors. You have a clone of Git. Git itself, the output of Git short log and Git blame can show you the authors for specific parts of the project. Cool. Who created Git? Linus. I'm gonna be honest. Is it Linus or Linus? Linus, right? I don't know much about him. I don't know if I'm breaking a commandment by saying that, but I don't know much about him. I know he created a lot of stuff for the web, but not necessarily. Well, I don't even know for the web or what. Hold up. Who was created Linux, right? Created Git. Who is Linus Torvalds? Creator and lead developer of the Linux kernel. He also created the distributed version. So Git. Okay, so he's mainly known for Linux and Git. Ah, very cool. Dude, I kind of like the history. You cannot comprehend him. He is a man that transcends us mere mortals. I like it. I like the history, though. All right, so through this course, you'll see commands written like this. Command required, optional. Arguments in angled brackets are mandatory and must be provided when running the command. Arguments in square brackets are optional and can be included if needed. For example, to create a new directory in your terminal, you would run make directory. Yep. Command arguments in an angle brackets are required. Arguments in square brackets are optional. Who's to say, really? Porcelain and plumbing. By the way, I'm going to just kind of throw out reminders. If you do have any web dev career questions, you're trying to become a developer, feel free to ask in chat. Between lessons, I'm happy to answer. We're kind of just going through the entire Boot.dev course. Some concepts will be fundamentals, some things will be refreshers for us, and some things will be new. But we'll be returning to the Python stuff after the Git stuff. But we are diving deep into Git for probably the next 2 weeks or so. All right. And I do think we're going to start learning Angular soon on stream and start working on Twitch Sprout a little bit. I got to think about like what days I want to do that and how I want to do that. But like I said, I'm not making a lot of progress with that, so I do want to do it on stream. Porcelain and plumbing. In Git, commands are divided into high-level porcelain commands and low-level plumbing commands. The porcelain commands are the ones that you will use most often as a developer to interact with your code. Some porcelain commands are git status, git add, git command, git push, git pull, git log. Yep, use all these. Don't worry about what they do. We'll cover them in detail soon. Some examples of plumbing commands are git apply, git commit tree, and git hash object. I don't think I generally use any of these. We'll focus on the high-level commands because that's what you use 99% of the time as a developer, but we'll dip down into the low-level commands occasionally to really understand how Git works. All right. So 99% of the time, blank commands are used to interact with Git porcelain. Quick config. We need to config Git to contain your information. Whenever code changes, Git tracks who made the change. To ensure you get proper credit, or more likely blame, for all of your code you write, you need to set your name and your email. Git commands with a configuration both at the global and repo level. Most of the time, you'll just use the global config. Let's set your identity. Check if your username and email are already set. So I think this might be a private email I use. It's been leaked plenty of times, not a big deal, but still. So let's do git config get user.email. Oh no, we're good. We're good. We are totally good. All right, so git config get user name Don Hansen email. All right. If they aren't, set them. I recommend using your GitHub username and email. Finally, let's set a default branch. We'll talk more about configs and branches later so that we're all on the same page. Run master.
Look at my horse is amazing.
Headless Headhunter. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome. Let me log into GitHub real quick. Need the two-factor. And then I want to check, because I think by default, you create a new repo, it sets it to main, right? I don't know if I want to change that. I need to delete some mobile apps. Too many. It's about to reset, and boom, got a new code. Yep, it's main. All right. We're using master for now because it is Git's default, but later we'll change it to main, which is GitHub's default. Just bear with us for a second. Okay. All right. Fine. Git config global init default branch is master. Make sure it worked. Your git config file is a file that stores your global git. Okay. Am I leaking anything? I don't know. I don't know. A little bit nervous. Oh, the password is there. It looks hashed, but still, I'm glad I didn't show that. Okay, all of those times where I'm like, I'm gonna leak something, there I would have leaked something. Let's go. That's a win. That is a win. All right, let's copy and paste this. Okay, so it's checking for the tests, and then we run this. All right, let's go. All right, we are on repositories. I think we just go through this as well today. Why not? Going through this pretty quickly. A lot of just setup stuff. All right, config. The first step of any project is to create a repository. A Git repo represents a single project. You'll typically have one repository for each project you work on. A repo is essentially just a directory that contains a project. Other directories and files, the only difference is that it also contains a hidden Git directory. That hidden directory is where Git stores all of its internal tracking and versioning information for the project. Webflix. In this course, we'll be managing content for Webflix, an imaginary self-hosted video streaming application. Webflix serves content directly from a Git repo. Navigate to somewhere in your file system where you'd like to store the project. Once you're there, create a new directory called Webflix. All right. All right, get in it. You should now have a hidden Git directory in your Webflix directory. This means you've successfully created a new Git repository. ls-a, the contents. Yep. Right, it shows hidden files. lsfa. What was it? It was ls. Oh no, lsd. We're tripping. A. All right. Run and submit the test from the root directory or the Webflix directory. All right. Let's go. Are you getting it done? Yes, I am, Headless. Yes, I am. How you doing, man? Training your Git foo, I see. I like it. I like the cheesy programmer jokes. Let's go. Yeah, we are in the Git section. I think for this section, it's not going to go too deep. Again, I think rebase is something I barely use, so I'm excited for that. But I think it's just going over what Primogen labeled as like the porcelain commands, the higher level commands. So I still like going through this. Git foo is actually a term used more than you'd think. Okay. All right. So it's official. I gotcha. Status. A file can be one of several states in a Git I just want to say repo. I don't know why. Repo. Here are a few important ones. Untracked, not being tracked by Git. Stage, marked for inclusion in the next commit. And committed, saved to the repository's history. The Git status command shows you the current state of your repo. It will tell you which which files are untracked, staged, and committed. Which it'll show nothing now. Every good content management system needs a table of contents. Create a file in your root of Webflix touch called contents.md. and add this. Oh, so wait, hold on. How do I add it? Hold up. How do I append without actually going into the file? Setup. I think it was installing Git. And then was it RTFM? No, what was it? Install it now. No. It was this. Okay. And it literally copied this. So do we have to, like, to be able to add this text, are we adding it with echo? Because I'm pretty sure this is the only thing that was in here. It wasn't actually echoing. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Oh, hold on. No. Ah, crap. Okay. What? Oh, it's bash. Fuck me. All right. Did this create the file? We probably delete this, right? I'm pretty sure we delete this. Are y'all git pull or rebase kind of folk? Why not both? I suspect the troll slots. We'll see. We'll see if you're a troll. I don't know who the singer is. But, okay, you're not a troll. Okay. I don't think I've ever heard that. But, thanks. Yep, I was adding it to bash. You should, yeah. Jake, give me a second. I know. Give me a second, Jake. Let me work through it a little bit. But yes, I was adding it to bash. But that my question is specifically, like, bash RC does not exist, right? By default. Like, you're never going to find this in Mac. This is something that if I delete nothing, it probably should be deleted. Can you answer that question? Or anyone? But I'm pretty sure, like, so if we... if I append to a file that doesn't exist, does it auto-create that file? Does anyone know? So my config file is sourcing ZSH RC. You don't know? I'm not qualified enough to give a 100% answer? Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty. If you flip the flux capacitors, you might be able to do it. Do what? Are we just like getting trolls in here? I think we're getting trolls. What are you talking about? What? Am I just like, is my brain going numb? All right, users streaming. So I want to look at the path. That's interesting. If I do nano, it's creating a new file. Oh, okay. Dude, you know what I'm just gonna do? I'm gonna delete this. Load sh. Because if I don't know if that was auto generate for EMV. Okay, I'm just gonna delete that. We're gonna save. There we go. Sorry, I don't know how to code. I just find it interesting. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All of this is magic to me. Why? That's cool. That's completely cool. Why are you going for coding streams then? Is it just like fun to watch coding streams? If you're using ZSHRC, it probably shouldn't, right? But it was kind of just one of those things where like, is anything going to be reliant on it at all? Am I going to break anything? Not like it should or like probably. I wasn't really looking for a probably. I was looking for a definite. So it'll create it. Gotcha. Okay, so that's what I did. I just forgot the period, and then it started creating the file. It didn't actually create it, but it would have allowed me to create it. Okay. So we go back, and we do, gotcha. So echo, export. So I literally forgot to look at the command, but I'm pretty sure export. I'm just going to try it again. So this is what I was trying to do. CSHRC. We do that. I'll just type it out. I mean, we could just do cat. CSHRC. So it's just export. Got it. Okay. I don't want to type all this out. There we go. Okay. Cool. All right. So what we want to do is we want to go to repos. We're in config. We already did this. We want to go to status, and we want to weren't we going to add something in config? Make directory, get init. What were we going to add? So we are in status. Create contents.md and add the following text. Got it. Okay, so what I wanted to try to do was echo contents and then append that to contents MD and then cat contents MD. It's, oh, whoops. Oh, fuck me. I did forget the space. Nope. Nano. So we could just run nano, and then we would probably have to specify where we're going to save it. Okay. So contents.md. I meant to put a space. There we go. All right. Nice. If I could just append it, I might as well. You know? Try it, I don't know. I'm not deleting it. Beauty of software, delete it. If I break it, then restore. That's true. That is very true. Mac uses ZSH. Yeah. I don't think so. I probably just created it and then it auto-generated that one line. I am in an adjacent space Twitch-wise, and I'm looking for more people to raid follow. Also, I placed software engineering before, so it's kind of interesting to see it done live. Okay, gotcha. When you say, so you're a headhunter. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, makes sense. But what do you do for your streams? What kind of streams do you do? That's interesting that a recruiter's popping onto stream. I'd be curious if you're doing any recruiting stuff. All right, cool. So we now have that. Save the file, then run get status. All right, and then we run these tests. Cool. So this submits it. So we check here first before we submit it. If this fails, we don't do this. Got it. All right. Let's move on. Staging. The contents MD file has been created, but as we saw, it's untracked. We need to stage it, add it to the index with the git add command before committing it later. Without staging, every file in the repo would be included in every commit, but that's often not what you want. Here's the command, git add. Yep. I've never used a pattern before. Git add contents, MD, git status, run the commands. Dude, I love the command line. I just do. I love learning more about it. I love getting more comfortable with it. Did you guys, did any of you watch the Primogen video about installing a local LLM? Like, kind of just booting up a local server? Or just, you know, a computer? I thought that was interesting. I didn't finish watching it. But I think there's some interesting and fun things we could do with it. Do I want to give DeepSeek a bunch of information using the web client? No. So I agree with running it locally, but like having a local LLM set up and kind of just learning what you can to be able to change things and have it hook up to things in even just like locally and see what you can potentially automate. Whether you want to trust like DeepSeek or you want to go with like a different open source LLM. I think it's really interesting to just have kind of a server running locally with a local LLM and see how you can use it, I don't know, in your life, in your home, to be able to automate things. Like I'd probably just create like some sort of chat thing initially to be able to interact with it rather than, because like he did make a good point. OpenAI kind of sold this dream of like access to AI that was accessible to a wide population. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like they kind of marketed it like, yeah, like we're bringing AI to the public, to the people, and then they charge for it. I don't mind that they're charging. I just don't think it's that as open as they marketed. So I love the idea of just kind of using a local LLM to fuck around with, you know? You'd like to go watch that video? I think it's an interesting video. I mean, like, you don't need the new GPU that's coming out in, I think it's January 30th. They're probably all reserved at this point. But you don't need that. Like, it can run on lower specs. Like, with my Mac Mini, I'm running, I just have an M2 and I'm running LM Studio. And for a while, I was just running the most recent Llama version. I actually had an uncensored version. It's actually pretty good. Llama is pretty good. I think that's a W for Mark Zuckerberg. I don't think he gets a lot of W's, and I don't think he deserves a lot of W's. But I think he deserves a few W's recently. And I think open sourcing Llama was, I don't know. I'm all for it. Honestly, oh, sorry, I did miss it. I missed your message. I'm missing some messages. I do resume reviews and give, job search tips and tricks, all free. That's really cool. I gotta run, but if you're still live at the time my stream ends, I will raid you because your music is cool and I like the vibe. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. Thanks for sharing. I have a local LLM interface set up and a custom build nest that hosts a lot of stuff for me. Do you? I would wholeheartedly recommend going down that path. It's super fun. I think it can be fun. What are some of the things that it hosts for you? Like, honestly, from my European perspective, it's not much difference if US gets my data or China. Gotcha. Fair enough. So yeah, the question is, would you let it have access to the internet? But running it locally is a better idea from your perspective. I might turn my home web server into an LLM. Probably going to try it on a local VM first. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be able to get much cheaper specs paying monthly for a while. Running something like that on a shared instance. I think it's just fun, though. I think it just sounds fun to create kind of a home server for that. Me personally, I don't care about that, so I would. I use a DeepSeek web app, so it's already too late. Oh, you're fucked. We're going to come to your door and steal you away tonight. We will no longer see Jake. Yeah, I'm just kidding. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. But I still think it's fun to set up a home server with something like that. I think that would be fun. Maybe we should do that. There's so many projects we can focus on. Biggest self-hosting thing is a few websites I made. Self-hosted media server, Plex, that I run for friends, family. Mainly run a local RAG vectorization embedding pipeline to distill my non-essential readings for university. Okay. You use it for home automation? So you save non-essential readings for university, but you also, I'm curious about the home automation. But we are running pre-rolls, and no one likes pre-rolls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run, where are we? We're going to keep going with this. I'm going to run a 2-minute ad. And yeah, I'm going to run a 2-minute ad that will come back and finish this up. We could chat a little bit. Yeah, but I think I need to set up a home server. It's just, it's literally in the corner of my living room. It's like the only thing, it's so awkward. It's just like a corner old PC just sitting in my living room that I got to do something with. But if I bring it into here, I do have room for it. But honestly, I want to buy 2 more shelves because I have 2 racks. I shouldn't, not like server racks, but like I have 2 shelves. And comes up to about here for me, but I want 2 more. I have one on the side, one over there, which I attached the lights to, and then, oh, that light is falling. I gotta redo that. I just taped them, but I want 2 shelves behind my desk because I just have like a cheap wooden table that's holding everything. But if I'm gonna bring that computer in, I need a little bit more shelf space. Dude, I have a ton of stuff on my shelves. I gotta go through and clean some of it up. Prime said he is buying a new Mac Minis for it. Yeah, I did hear that. You cluster them, it's the cheapest and most Really? Really? Is buying new Mac Minis for it. If you cluster them, it's the cheapest and most powerful LLM rig for that price. I wonder what software he uses to run that. Why, like, you couldn't get something cheaper, like a home computer, and just install Linux on it? Like, is that really the cheapest option to install Mac? Or to not install Mac, but like buy a Mac? Wouldn't it be cheaper to just like get like a pre-build for kind of a slightly crappy computer? They are $5.99 each. I understand the price, but wouldn't it still... Are you going to experience any limitations with buying the Mac Minis? With connecting it to your home network? I don't really know what limitations you might face. I just like... Yeah, I really don't know what limitations you might face. You'll get crappy results. Can you elaborate on that? Crappy results with what? And what are those crappy results? What do you mean by that? Before VPN services, I built a proxy server on GCP. Oh, to watch international Netflix. Okay. The new Mac architecture is stupid fast. Okay, you'll get crappy results buying crappy hardware. So you guys really think that Mac Minis are the cheapest option if you don't want to get a bunch of those graphics cards? Or even one of them. I work from home usually, so I have an automation stuff for when I join a meeting and call. It auto sets my lighting. Mutes all ambient audio. That's pretty cool. I have no idea if you have more of them. I have only one M4 Mini, so I have 0 limitations. My M4 Mini is thrashing every computer I tested against it. I guess it just depends on what you would use it for. The M4 chip is nuts. How much are they? You don't need much hard drive space, so you already saved like $800 for that, right? How much RAM do you need? A lot of the local LLMs, 10 core, 16. I'm wondering how much memory you might need. Because I'll see like 8 gigabytes or 16 gigabytes for a lot of the local LLMs. I don't think I've seen anything above 16. But in order to use a 16, I'm assuming you need at least 16. The 490 route? What's the 4090 route? Mac LLM interface is pretty cost effective because it shares VRAM with normal RAM. It's all about the VRAM. I would need a good use case for this. That's a lot of money. Hold on. NVIDIA RTX. Oh, okay, 490, 24 gigabytes of V. Okay, gotcha. From the dev perspective, so you have lower compilation times. If you plan to buy one, it's better to buy more RAM. If you plan to have a bunch of them, 16 gigabytes is more than enough. I mean, you buy what you can afford. I can't afford more than one of these. I know that. I don't know. That's why I don't think, without knowing, I kind of just wanted to play around with it. And I wanted to essentially build a chat client where I just set up like, it's kind of always listening. I could always talk to it and have a speaker. What's up, Nick? How you doing? $128? I don't know. That sounds cringe. But I think you should try it first before buying hardware. I'm pretty good, man. I want to be specific. I think it's cringe to give Apple that amount of money. Fuck Apple. But you can do what you want with your money. I guess, yeah. How would I even set that up? I mean, if I'm going to buy Mac Minis, I might as well figure out how to run an LLM on my M2, even if it's like a less version, like kind of just a cheap model, and then be able to hook up a microphone and speakers, and be able to hook up kind of like I don't know what options exist, but do you have good options to be able to translate a lot of the text into voice? Do you have kind of like a human sounding voice? I just don't know how you would set some of that stuff up on Mac. I got to look into it. Not a lot of choices when buying a lot of VRAM, though. NVIDIA is no saint. What are you using it for? That's a lot of memory. Nick, what are you using your LLM for? Do you have an M2? It's fine. Don't get an M4 yet. Well, right now, yeah, I'm just playing around with it. But that's what I want to do. How much RAM do you currently have? I think only like, what do I have? 16. I have 16. Wait for Prime to get his rig done and then decide. I'll have to look into it. You're right. There's no reason to buy anything. What I wanted to do was kind of turn a dead computer into something. But I don't even think that's worth the time. So I'll probably play around with the local LLM, and I've never ran it outside of LM Studio either. I just got to figure out how to hook up the input and output. Initially, I got the 64. I like to be a bit more ready for them. Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to return this one since it's still in the return window once. Oh, the 128. Gotcha. Okay. So you basically, so you don't really have a use case. You're just like, I want to buy something beefy to do something if I want to do it. Completely fine for dev work. Oh yeah, an M2. You could use way less for most dev work. I definitely don't even need an M2 for like 99% of what I do for dev stuff. Free tier service from the cloud companies, get that working first. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I'll play around with it locally. I think 7B models should run on that. Yeah, I'm running DeepSeek. I'm running DeepSeek. I'm running an uncensored version of DeepSeek. I don't find it that impressive. I find Llama more impressive, if I'm being honest. But I'm not. I'm really just using it as a knowledge base. I'm not really having it do any calculations. I'm not having it do any dev work or coding work. So I wouldn't say no use cases. I'm currently using the use case. What is the use case? Did you mention your use case? Using the use case. What use case? What are you talking about? I don't see where you mentioned that. No, what are you using the local LLM for? I'm not saying what is the use case of you buying the Mac minis. I'm saying what is the use case of what is the use case of using AI locally? What specifically? What are we talking about here, Riggs? We're just talking about I brought up Primogen's recent video about setting up a local LLM, and people had mentioned that, reminded me that he's just using Mac Minis. Gonna connect those to be able to do that. I'm kind of curious what he's going to use them for, but then we were talking about what use case I wanted to use it for, and I can kind of just use my M2 to be able to set that up. Yeah, he did mention that. All right, let's see. Oh no, Nick, you're a furry. No, we don't need more furries here. Yeah, he did mention that. I haven't finished watching the video, but I'll finish watching it. I'm probably gonna set that up this weekend. Okay, whew. All right, but it also helps with physics homework. It is what it is. I don't get to choose what Solana uses. Fair enough. Fair enough. Furry's just a joke here. I want to set that up too, just for learning. Nice. I think it could be fun. We'll try it out. Yeah, I'll have to look more into it. Anyways, I keep stalling with the break. We're going to get rid of pre-rolls on Twitch. So we're going to take a 3-minute break. No, 2-minute. We'll come back. And then we will finish this course. Dude, I'm so I feel like I'm so out of it. I had a heavy workout today. A heavy workout. Like, it was like high intensity. Really got my heart rate up to about like, it was like between 180 and 190, but it felt so damn good. But I always get tired afterwards. I love it though. All right, 2-minute break. It's your only time to go to the bathroom. This is your only chance. Okay? So, you got 2 minutes. Wash your hands. Come back. Be ready. All right, be right back. All right, we are back. We are back. All right, cool. Let's dive in. All right, staging, we submitted that. Let's move on. Commit. After staging a file, we can commit it. A commit is a snapshot of the repo at a given point in time. It's a way to save the state of the repo, and it's how Git keeps track of changes to the project. A commit comes with a message that describes the changes made in the commit. Here's how to commit all the stage files. What are we doing? Commit the contents. Okay, so we added them, right? Yep, okay, cool. So git commit dim yo. Normally start a commit message with A. You'd just write the message, but we're going to use letters to help us easily identify commits in this course. Oh, sorry, there it is. A add contents.md. Gotcha. All right, git status. Yep. Run and submit the CLI tests, and let's do it. Let's go. Let's go. You've learned half of Git. Well, not really, but kind of. Half of your workflow as a developer will just be 3 simple commands: git status, git add, commit. True. So most of what you need to work efficiently as a solo developer. Another 40% of Git is about collaborating and storing your work on a remote server. The last 10% is mostly about fixing mistakes, rolling back changes, and other advanced topics. Don't worry, we'll cover those too. I wonder if Prime wrote all this. I think this course is pretty well laid out. I get this feeling that, and I could be wrong, but I get this feeling that Prime might struggle a little bit with speaking to very junior people. But I have not watched him like really teach something. I know Lane mentioned that Boot.dev has a strict review process of course content being entered into Boot.dev, and I'm wondering how much of this got revised. I'd be curious like what the original draft was with Prime with this course. Which command adds a file to the staging area? Git log. Git repo is a potentially very long list of commits where each commit represents the full state of the repo at a given point in time. The git log command shows a history of the commits in the repo. This is what makes Git a version control system. You can see who made a commit, when the commit was made, what was changed. Commit hash. Each commit has a unique identifier called a commit hash. This is a long string of characters that uniquely identifies the commit. Here's an example of mine. For convenience, you can refer to any commit or change within Git by using the first 7 characters of its hash. Really? I did not know that. All right, so run git log. All right. You should see your commit. Notice that the git log, assuming the log is long enough, starts an interactive pager. You can scroll through the log with the arrow keys and exit by pressing Q. Next, run git log again, but this time use the -n and no pager options to limit the maximum number of commits shown, and more importantly, to run it without the interactive pager. There's no interactive pager. Why would this section, like, this is good to mention, but how are you going to test for this? We're doing a git log of 1 commit. Right? What is the point? I think this is just extra information that probably should be tossed out of the assignment. All right, let's go. Prime mostly covers topics that to understand you need some knowledge, but he can explain things in a simple manner. Can he? Okay, he does that often on his streams. Oh, okay, very cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't really watch his streams that much. His tweets will pop up on my feed. I think I follow him on Twitter, and I'll watch his videos once in a while. I just don't care to watch people build like random shit and then switch projects like every single day. I just don't care. I like non-codes who is constantly building on top of our current apps, or Zinka who's constantly like building the CSS Game Boy. It's like kind of a longer project. I like stuff like that. You must know Git already, right? Just doing this for fun. Yeah. I think like the only thing that might be helpful is I don't use Git rebase, and we're gonna go over that. But I'm going through the entire Boot.dev course because they're an affiliate partner. And I went through the entire Scrimba one, and I can confidently recommend it. For front-end developers, for back-end, Boot.dev has a good reputation, but good reputations can come with good customer service and a poor curriculum. Good reputations can come from just throwing a bunch of advertising money onto something and having a decent product, not a great product. So going through the entire thing. And also, I do believe that this is a legitimate way to like really get a solid foundation with a backend too. So we're going through everything. Stuff that we know, stuff that we don't know. We're just going through the whole thing. I'm surprised they don't have Git diff in this section. I don't think Git diff is a common thing at all. I don't think so. They do have another Git course. But I don't think I've ever used Git diff in my entire professional career, which is only like, 3 years or whatever. But still, like I've never used it ever. Not even a single time professionally. So that's probably why. What's Git diff? What is Git diff? Let's do an education here. Been using Rebase for years and still get tripped up occasionally. See, Rebase, it feels like it could be pretty tricky. I think I used it like once or twice professionally. I've never used Git diff. Exactly. So this is true. Where it's embedded, yes. If you're going to do it in an IDE, I think eventually you will use it, but I do not think it's kind of one of the fundamental commands that are commonly used. There are plenty of people. You might think it's important. Not saying it's not important, but it is a command that is often not used for a while. I'll have to check out one of Prime's streams, like the entire stream. I just don't know if I could sit through it. I'm telling you, like, I've rarely ever used it. Rarely ever used it. Hold on. Shows the changes that were made. Oh, you're just answering his. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, anytime I've like used Git blame. I like Git blame professionally. I don't really use it solo. But I think anytime I've wanted to like track down changes, I've always gone to GitHub and I've looked at merged PRs, and I would just look at the diffs there. But locally, I've never used Git diff. Only works on non-staged files. Gotcha. Yeah, but I've honestly, like, I don't think I've ever used Git diff outside of like in some GUI. Or like mainly GitHub. If I want to track anything like that, it's usually just looking at old repos. It's around 7 a.m. Central. Wait, it's around 7 a.m. Central time. I'm not sure though. Oh, his streams? Yeah, fuck that. Never mind. I'm not going to watch that. That's too early. No, that's not happening. That is way too early for me. I use it to not accidentally commit types. What do you mean by that? So you're essentially trying to, what, when you commit stuff, extract those types out and not commit them or something like that? Oh, typos. Oh, thank you. I misread that. Wait, use it to not accidentally commit typos. How would a git diff prevent you from doing typos? I don't think I'm familiar with the -p flag. Can someone elaborate on that? The git diff for the typos. Really? I mean, so Dewey, what I do, oh, I see. So you're talking about like before you actually push the code, saved and git diff. So what I do to prevent typos is I do PRs, even for solo repos. And I'll look at the diff there. So it's not like I don't find the diff valuable, but I never do it locally. So I'll double check my code and typos in the PR itself. Is that kind of just a use case for it? Yo, what details are you looking topic up? I feel like I know a lot about Git, but I usually just stick with desktop. Calden, I don't know, someone typed, John mentioned git add -p. What does that do? That's a question I have. It's 3 p.m. for me, so yeah. Oh, that's not bad at all, man. Dude, there's no way I'm waking up at like 7 a.m. Central for Prime stream. There's no fucking way. No way. Maybe if I did a collaboration, I'd be miserable for one day, but nope, not happening. Okay, so -p, you can commit sections of a file. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever used that. Allows you to view the changes in your code and add them. Separate all the code changes and allow you to review the changes and then add them. It has some extra. Yeah, it seems like you could, like, I kind of like that where let's say I'm working on 2 features. Like sometimes I'll kind of just jump into something and do like some small changes to something else while I'm working on a feature. And I might want to commit that change initially, or commit like one change and separate it. I really like separating the commits based off a feature a lot of the time. So I could see myself doing that when I might be working on multiple features in the same file in a session. So I could see that being useful. Yeah, I've never done git add p. Usually try to keep my commits as clean as possible. My philosophy is every commit should be self-contained piece of logic. Yeah, 100%. And you know what I hate doing? And I hate when other people do it. I hate when people will change files and then rewrite the name of the file. They'll change the name. Like that's so... I hate that so much. Where now I don't even know what changes you made. I got to review the entire damn file because you renamed it. And I would like a lot of the renames to at least be shoved into a different commit, so then I could dig into it a little bit and like actually see the changes. You know what I mean? So commit the file name changes and then do the change. I hate when people do both at the same time with one commit. Nice. Repos, internals. A lot of internal stuff. We'll go full camp. We'll talk for a little bit. I'm good with the just finishing chapter 1 and 2 today. Pretty easy sections. Yeah. Let me pull this over. What's up? If you guys have like web dev career questions, or seems like we have a lot of experienced people in here, but if there are any junior developers, feel free to type in chat. Happy to do a bit of a Q&A. Makes reverts easier, yes. Doing atomic commits, I believe. Atomic commits, huh? Feature branching. Well, I will do a feature branch. This is true. So you could, like you're saying, to replace the git add -p, right? Because I talked about like maybe committing something while I'm working on a feature or something like that and just splitting that up into a separate commit. But I do feature branching for sure by default. Every commit and main branch should not leave the app in a broken state. I think the things I've shied away, like the main thing I've shied away from is rebase. Config stuff I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with. Sometimes I get lost and that gets a bit tricky. Like if I detach the head or I get into like a really weird state, that's kind of annoying to reserve the changes. What do I usually do? Stash the changes and then get to the right commit and unstash them? Like stuff like that, even thinking through it, I feel like does get a bit tricky for me. But I do feel like there are even newer commands that'd be helpful to know. I think I'm a junior developer. Okay, but I tinker a lot with stuff I don't understand. That's awesome, John. Yo, that's what makes you stand out. Fuck yeah. Let's go. I love people that tinker. Rebase is helpful when you have 4 engineers working on the same file. You know what I usually do? I've never used Rebase. I've kind of just merged in recent changes. And I think, both accomplish the same thing, right? But the history it feels a bit more bloated. That's how I see Rebase. Like Rebase cleans up that history. Like that's the main use case in that scenario, isn't it, Dewey? I like using Rebase when I don't mess up the changes. Okay, nice. By the way, when will you cover the topic from the Into the Void channel? Did you mention how many days it stays open? I don't know when we're going to close it. Maybe 4 days in, something like that. I did not cover the topic. I covered the zombie one. But I did not cover this one. And I don't know, like, I don't mind talking about it for myself, but we do have some more personalized responses this time because it's, it's a slightly sensitive topic. I don't know if I want to bring this up on stream. I would want to give people a heads up that it was going to be on stream. Like the zombie one, who gives a crap? But like this one, if you look through, some of these are kind of personal and I don't want to leak these. But we could talk about it. We could definitely talk about it. You remember the zombie one being covered. Okay. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, in our Discord server, we opened up a new channel called Into the Void where we're going to bring up controversial stuff. Last one was fun. Zombie apocalypse. It's just kind of like a temporary conversation that gets deleted by the end of the week. It's supposed to be like non-judgmental, just kind of like be honest, and it kind of gives the server a chance to know you. We're going to ask for more personalized questions, but we're going to talk about like controversial stuff, maybe a little politics, maybe social stuff, just controversial issues, maybe even religion, where like, you know, if you're mature enough to handle the conversation and not be a dick about it, you're going to be welcome there. But yeah, I kind of just want to create that channel where we can open up more controversial conversation, more like emotionally charged stuff, and have like a reasonable conversation about it. But this one was a little bit of a self-analysis. The two questions are, why are you alive? And what are you willing to die for this very day? Those are the two questions for this week. And I really appreciate everyone answering those. I appreciate everyone being honest about it. Rebase forces you to fix conflicts against every commit that you made that's ahead of the branch you're rebasing from? Okay. So does merge though. That's what you do with merge. What do you mean? Like if you want to merge some changes that are ahead of your current branch, you got to fix those merge conflicts when you merge rather than rebase. What's the difference? I agree with you. You're editing the history with rebase. I found this out the hard way when I accidentally lost, oh no, a bunch of history changes. It's how I learned about git reset head. Okay, git gc prune. I don't think I've ever used that. As far as I'm concerned, you can read mine on stream. Okay. I think either I read all of them or I don't read any of them. I do think we can go over some stuff like that, but I think, I don't know. I feel like people are going to be nervous to type in that chat if we leak anything. Even like one message, you're going to be like, oh, is my message going to get leaked? And I think it could be a fun conversation, but I want people to feel comfortable like just speaking their mind, knowing that it's going to get deleted by the end of the week and gone forever. You know what I mean? So when I start bringing it up on stream, I think it'll even subconsciously kind of make people a little bit nervous about it. I'm a junior. I would also call myself as a junior, even if that might be too generous, but I love getting a low level into this stuff and learning how things work. I like surrounding myself with people that actually care about diving a little bit deeper and just curious. I don't know about you guys, but I like surrounding myself with curious developers. I'm tired of the people coming in. We rarely get it now, but I'm tired of people that come in saying, how do I like become a developer? The fastest route, tell me. You know, just like really basic, low effort questions like that. I don't like being surrounded by people like that. You can merge without fixing conflicts? I mean, you can force that, sure. So you're saying you like that rebase forces it. Okay. So, gotcha. I guess, yeah, every time I've done it, I've always fixed all the merge conflicts. I guess, so rebase does, like, no matter what, does not allow you to merge that in without fixing all the conflicts. You're saying it forces it, or it enforces it? Is that what you're saying? I still have my answer still sitting half typed. I need to finish. Yes, let's hear it. Even if you just read them all anonymously, you think? I think so. I think given the sensitivity of some of the responses now, I think I should give people a heads up saying I will keep it anonymous, but I'm going to read it. I think I should give people a heads up before we start the new topic. I think it's okay to keep it anonymous, but I really have to give the server a heads up. Because what happened, Jess, I don't know if you remember what happened with the zombie one. It got leaked, right? Mahan leaked it. Now, it wasn't a big deal that it was leaked, and I reached out to that person, and they didn't care. But some of these are going to be more sensitive, and then we're always going to have that one person that like mentions a name in my chat, and my chat message goes on screen, and like I could blur it out, but like I just don't want it to come on screen and like for it to get leaked anyways. So just seems messy. But yeah, if we did it in the future, you know what I could do? I could mention like mark your post as you're open to having it shared on my stream. And if it's not marked, I skip it. We could do that. I don't know. Would you guys like want us to talk about the responses on stream? Like, is that kind of why you're mentioning it? You think it'd be cool to like have that discussion on stream? Plus, if you leave it on Discord, it'll incentivize the participation of the channel. Or if you leave it for Discord, yeah. Yes. Because I do feel like Discord is like a more, like our Discord is more tight-knit than our live streams. A little bit. So Dewey, I didn't hear you mention it, but I'm assuming maybe Rebase it's optional to fix the conflicts. So does it sound like Rebase it's optional, and then, you know, merging the stuff ahead of your branch is optional for fixing conflicts? You can merge it in no matter what? Or is Rebase enforced? If I had developer questions, is that I am not sure how to gauge my own metrics or abilities, but I know how to troubleshoot and problem solve very well with a background as an aircraft mechanic. Programs are like planes, one physical and one is logical. I'm just happy I was able to catch you live for once. Yeah, I appreciate you joining us, John. I'm glad you could catch us live too. It's hard, right? Because if you're newer in the industry, you don't really know. You can kind of look at how other people are coding. I wouldn't like try to compare yourself of like where you're at. I don't think you're gonna get an accurate assessment of that in terms of like, because like if you even look at their code, you don't really know what they're like. You can compare your code with their code, and if it's a similar implementation, similar feature, you really can't gauge how good of a developer they really are based off of just that. Especially if you're newer, you don't really know specific things to look for. So the better option is just like when you're comparing code with other people, it's to just consider a different implementation and ask them to explain why they did it that way, and listen to their thought process and see if that's useful and you can integrate it into your thought process, or you toss it. You don't like it. But for assessing yourself, like to assess growth, it's really just, can you go back into your previous project or code you did like a month or two ago, and would you change anything, right? Would you refactor it a certain way? Would you reorganize it in any fashion? Like even just tossing things in different files. You have a different file organizational pattern that you've been using, and you're like, you go back to an old repo, you're like, wow, this is really unorganized. I would never work like this again. Like that, those are signals that you're growing. But it just depends on like what you're trying to assess specifically. So it's like, what are you gauging it for? Let me do some reading before giving you a good answer. I don't want to butcher. Okay, I'll send you my answer in Discord. Don't want to be saying the wrong shit. It's worse than not giving you the info the first. Okay, fair enough, Dewey. Gotcha. Yeah, that, and you don't have to. It's not a big deal. But I'm just kind of curious for my own knowledge with when I would want to use Rebase and when I wouldn't. And for me, it just seems like to have a clean history. It's the only thing I would use it for so far. I would like that. That's a good idea for the discussion. Yeah, we could. Maybe we keep it internal and everyone's kind of like reacting and reading each other's. I think that's cool. And then I could just present the idea online on Friday or something like that, or like the last day we stream for the week. And then just see if people want to, like, they can kind of copy and paste their responses into the live stream. But maybe that's the option. It's like, we'll have a private conversation in Discord, a little bit cozier with trusted people, and then we bring it up on Friday and I could talk about my response to it or something like that and hear people's take. I want to. It's part of best practices that I was taught at Big Tech. Oh, okay, cool. Okay. It's for my own personal metrics with no comparison. For example, I know that I can jump into a new code base and poke around, refactor Google Maps coordination map that was homebred, but I guess you're finishing that. We'll figure it out. The Into the Void channel is brand new. It's brand new. We'll figure out what to do with it. I think it's an interesting channel. I'm looking forward to diving into some topics, like weekly topics. I think it's pretty cool. And I love that you guys are contributing. I'll be frank, I haven't read a lot of the responses just yet, but I will read these by the end of the week. I want to hear what you guys say. I kind of like glanced over some for sure. Like you said, who once can, paste the answer. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to articulate what that is. I am sort of stumbling what I am trying to see, what I'm capable of. Well, capable of what? Like, what is your goal? I think you should consider what your goals are to be able to properly assess yourself, because you don't know what you're assessing if you don't really know what your goals are. Because I think you're looking for... I don't really know what you're looking for, right? But it sounds like you might have some goals in the future, because if you want to be capable of something, you want to be capable of that something for what purpose? What is that purpose? What are you learning coding for? Are you trying to build something with it? Are you trying to get into the industry? Are you just playing around now and you're like, I don't know if I am good with front end. I don't know if I'm good with back end. Like, you just trying to like get a feel for where you fit into the programming industry, or, you know, it just depends on your purpose, your goals. Comparison is only bad if you have an ego. I love comparing myself to better engineers and ask myself how I can be better. Yeah. Well, I think it has something to do with ego. We could say that, but I think a lot of newer developers really, there are a lot of people that just don't have confidence. Part of it is ego, right? It's a lack of humility. It's okay to be humble at something and compare yourself, and that other person is much greater at that thing than you are. And I think ego is holding you back from realizing that there's a growth opportunity there, right? And there's a connection opportunity. You could build a friendship out of that. But a lot of people are just doubtful of themselves. They lack confidence, especially at lower levels when you're just starting out. And I almost think that, like, giving a general rule of not comparing your code to a lot of other people and just focusing on improving your code over time, unless you are looking for better implementations, might work for some people for a while. But I do think you're right. It does have something to do with ego, but I think that's why the general rule is given to new developers not to compare. I think that's it, where you said about where I feel I fit in the industry. I think it's just interest, John. If you're curious enough, I think you have capability to go in almost any direction you want. We've talked about this, but I think, like, given the effort and given the interest, you could do almost anything you want in the software engineering industry. And given time, right? A lot of time. I think it's more about, what do you enjoy? What problems do you like solving? I don't think you're limited based off of like what you consider capability. I think you're limited based off of like what the hell you're going to do for the next 3 years. What are you diving into? Whatever you dive into, whatever you learn, if you're curious enough and you actually love learning whatever you're learning, like you will get there. So I don't think it's about capability. I think it's about interest and what types of problems you want to solve. And how you figure that, you just solve different types of problems. Get exposure to different things. Self-doubt is a killer of productivity. It kills mine pretty well. Yeah. I've done that for YouTube videos. I feel like I could have created a lot more YouTube videos, but I've had self-doubt for sure. I do feel like I have a bit of a blocker for creating February's videos, just because it's not doubt. It's more of like, what do I want to say? So I don't think that actually applies. I think one of the first videos I want to launch is talking about a capstone. We're going to keep it like really simple for people and right to the point. I think a lot of aspiring developers are failing because they don't have a capstone project. They don't have a really single impressive project to showcase their skills, to really build up their skills. But it doesn't look professional. This is kind of some random ass personal project. Even if it has complexity, sometimes people build complexity in for complexity's sake. It's just a personal project that has no users, no purpose, no value. It's like, that's what a lot of people have. And I think I want to talk about that. I think that's a really good topic, because I think like that's probably the biggest reason a lot of people are, one of the biggest reasons people are not landing that job is because their most impressive project isn't that impressive. That's the big one. Then we can kind of branch out from there, because there's a lot of little stuff that you can do, but you need that project, you know what I mean, to really stand out. Unless you're going the agency route, then it's a little bit of a different strategy. I sometimes literally need to tell myself, you are not that stupid like you think. Just do it, you idiot. Nice. I'm someone that's very self-critical. And I think I turned that voice off. Well, so I turned that voice off for a reason. I think when you call yourself an idiot, you're probably just being playful about it, but like when you call yourself an idiot, you are talking to your subconscious. I've seen people and like developers that get frustrated that'll literally be like, and they'll say their name like, damn it, like, why did you do that? You're so stupid, right? And they'll say that on stream, and I'm like, what are you doing? I think like a little humor that can show some humility can be contagious and appealing and likable. But it gets very depressing watching someone just trash themselves.
Look at my horse is amazing.
Mort Neer, thanks for the follow. Welcome. Not only that, but you are speaking to your subconscious and you are reinforcing things that are killing your confidence. You're reinforcing things that your own self-image. Every time you say something like that, like you are talking to your subconscious. And I don't think a lot of people realize the long-term impact that you have with that. So Soneka plays. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. And it's depressing because a lot of people will talk to themselves like that, especially hyper self-critical people. And I was one of them. But they'll talk to themselves like that for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Imagine 10 years of talking to yourself like that. You've never made it a point to break that habit where you are just telling your subconscious how stupid you are, how ugly you are, how unlikable, how unlovable you are. Even if you don't think it, like these little kind of self-deprecating humor, if you're constantly doing it, reinforces it in your subconscious. What do you think that's doing for your confidence? This is why I mentioned imposter syndrome is a defect. It is not a rite of passage. It is something broken in you. It is insecurity. It is like being uncomfortable with it's being able to be humble and be comfortable with that. It's kind of like living that. I mean, that's how you solve it. It's like going into a situation knowing that, like, dropping your ego and just living and experiencing that moment. It's not about like, I better achieve this or I have failed or I have succeeded. It's like, It's more about being able to live in the moment and be comfortable with your emotions and not let them control you, but also be comfortable with just like not knowing something and not thinking that you're stupid for that. But I think there's real, genuine, deep-rooted confidence that comes with with a lot of the messaging that you give yourself. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that. And this, again, this is coming from someone that's always been very self-critical. I'd be very careful about how you talk to yourself. I'm definitely the toughest boss I know. I always have been. It's something I continue to work on to this day. I've always been extremely self-critical. Am I allowed to talk about what I do, or does that break a rule? I can give a brief summary. What I do? For what? I don't think it's going to break any rules, no. Totally understand what he means. Just do it. Just do it, indeed. I always struggle at projects. I literally don't know what to build. When I pick something, then I doubt myself and end up not doing it. Then the simple solution is just to do it. Anyways, a lot of people are looking for like a solution with that. The simple solution is to do it. Good habits are built from just doing it, regardless of how you feel. It's quite frankly like not being a pussy, not being a coward, and just like letting your emotions control you. It's like facing them, no matter how uncomfortable they are. It's facing those emotions and doing it anyways. A lot of people like want a solution to that, like a templated solution, and there is a very easy one. You just do it anyways, and then you slowly build up the habit of doing it no matter what. It's like, and start small. You could do it through exercise and have it carry over. Like something I did a long time ago when I really wanted to get really good at swimming. I hated that cold water. I would do it early in the morning. I hated the fucking cold water. And then every single time that I found myself flinching or not jumping in right away, I literally like yelled in my mind. I don't remember what I yelled. It was probably like, stop being a pussy and jump. I'd have kind of like the words in my mind, jump, and I would jump in. And it was uncomfortable. And eventually that flinch went away and I just did it. It became automatic. That's what you do. If you know a project, you come up with an idea, you follow through with it. It's the same thing. And you're not going to get better at it until you stop letting your emotions control you. What's up, little Indian? Currently at 33, still often thinking that I'm an idiot. At least at this point, I'm numb to it, and it just works as a motivation to improve. I think it's probably, it might be motivation. I still think it's negatively affecting you. I still think it's, like, you could be, like, if you actually think yourself as an idiot, like that, I think that's kind of just a self-report. It's just very telling of your confidence levels, which I think are very low. It might be motivation to do it, but I would argue there are healthier ways of motivation. And no one's fully confident. And if you really want to build up some deep-rooted confidence, I think like different self-talk could change your entire perspective on life for the better. Don, just don't listen to that voice. Standing on the train station. Ramp. Jump. Yeah, just don't listen to that voice. Yes, jeez. Okay. Don't listen to that voice. Until I found a method that works for me to break projects down into smaller parts and test them out over a timeline or by project, that's when I feel like I unlocked my white belt in coding. Gotcha. Being able to break down those larger projects is a skill. Being able to come up with ideas for your portfolio project and identify problems that exist in the world that can be solved through software engineering, through coding, is a skill. A lot of these are skills that are built up over time. I used to hate that answer when I first started coding, but it is the truth. Just jump into it. I get it. It's daunting and a lot of stuff that's unfamiliar. Just click on things one at a time. Yeah. Those habits come in time. They do. Your perspective, your thought process, your self-perception, it all comes with time of acting. If you're trying to change it, it comes with like action first, then change. Oh, I tried to overcome it for the last 15 years. This outcome was still much better than worrying about it. Okay. I mean, you could settle. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we're talking about, I still think we have to like fully acknowledge that it can be a detriment to your confidence. I don't know why, but at the same time, I hate overly optimism. Like I am too cautious. I think as an adult, that starts happening for like most people. It's definitely happened for me. Because we kind of just get used to being disappointed. Our dreamy vision of the world goes away and we get hit by a lot of things. Reality is not clean. It's not, just life is difficult for a lot of people. You just get trained with that. And it's kind of like a self-defense of like, well, and that's how like people become black pilled. It's like they didn't process the emotion in a healthy way when life continued to give them shit. And so to protect themselves, they kind of just created this like black pilled version of the world and the justification essentially is, if I'm expecting the world to be shit, I'm not going to be disappointed when I'm surprised. Like that's kind of the perspective of black pilled people in general. I'm not saying any of you are that extreme, but like we've all been around those black pilled people who don't know S2. Thanks for the follow. But like if you've ever like had black pilled friends or you've met black pilled people at work or college or at school, wherever, like they generally don't have that much confidence. Sometimes they kind of form some narcissism to just like completely create this ego defense to be able to handle life. But it's like, it's a really depressing outlook on life. It's incredibly depressing. And that has a long-term effect on yourself, your psyche. A lot of people go into their adulthood with like really bad patterns, bad habits, and bad self-perception. And they don't see it as bad because they've just done it, right? Like if you do it for 10 years, 20 years, it just seems normal to you. You don't think it's bad until you actually like get real therapy. You find a good therapist that works with you, and it takes a while to find that until you actually do a lot of like self-work. You don't need a therapist for this, by the way. I'm just saying therapy can help. But it takes like a lot of self-work, and it takes a lot of like processing a lot of your shadow self, your negative aspects, because some people just run from that. But it takes a lot of self-work to be able to deal with a lot of that emotion and process it in a healthy way. But a lot of people don't. They just like, they're normal. And you get this, we can even get out of this, like the psychology stuff. We can just point out that there are a lot of people who gave up on their dreams, who basically think it's incredibly unrealistic to work 8 hours a day doing something that you love. We've all met people like this. Some of you might be like this, but we've all met people who think it's just a job. Like these people need, like there are people that'll actually get mad. Like there are people that'll get mad at me. I'm not just talking about like a little annoyed. I'm like talking about like if I end up banning them, they're trying to leak stuff of mine. They'll get pissed and they'll create a bunch of accounts. They'll spam, they'll bot my stuff. But like, there are people that actually believe that it's unrealistic to aim for something that's more than just a job. And that maybe they're wasting 8 to 10 hours, 5 days a week of their life, a third of their life away. They're just throwing it down the drain because they have given up on their dreams. They've given up on having any sort of an optimistic perspective of what they can achieve in life. And do you really want to be that person? Seems like a really depressing life, but a lot of people like that, they've just been like that for a long time and it's just normal to them. But I think we just keep suppressing emotions down and down and down and down until we either come undone at inappropriate moments and we have crash outs in our life, or we just get old and have a ton of regret and undealt with emotion, both of which we don't have to settle for. Would you want to play the game me and my teammate? No, I have no idea who you are. It has pros and cons, but people that think and only think they're the smartest are by far the worst coworkers. Yep, they kind of just suck the oxygen out of the room. What's up, Jeremy? You always arrive at the good conversations. How you doing, man? Yep. People that kind of want to show how smart. We were just talking about people that'll come into live streams of developers. They're not really trying to help with backseat coding. They're just trying to show how intelligent they are, and it's very obvious. They're trying to brag about something. It's like they're kind of desperate for attention because they have shit they probably got to deal with. Unprocessed shit, and they get their validation from other people, external resources. Or external sources. But yeah, the people that like want just kind of like have this ego or think they're more intelligent than others and make it very clear with that, they're very arrogant. It's like they just suck the oxygen out of the room. No one wants to talk to them. If they're good enough, they'll get paid a lot of money. They'll probably stay on the team for a while, but a lot of those people aren't good enough to stay on the team, and eventually, company will let go of most people who are just insufferable to talk to. Today, I did some very basic bare bones CLI tool in Java. Not done a share, but I was so proud that I made it work as intended. Let's go, Jake. Hell yeah. Those moments I know I love programming. It motivates me to push the struggle. It real, but I know I need to push forward. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Good for you. I see that. Getting philosophical, it sounds like. Yeah. Yep, we are. All right. I'm procrastinating adding UI tests to my terminal spreadsheet project. Well, I'm going to help you because we're going to sign off in a few minutes, and you're going to be forced to. Now you can't use my stream as an excuse not to do it. All right, cool. Good conversation. That's all I have. We went over a little bit. But I'll keep this up on YouTube and Twitch if you guys want to watch it. And we'll be live Thursday, most likely. And we'll continue with the Git stuff. And then we'll continue pushing forward. We might be able to complete the Git stuff this week. A lot of it's a refresher. But the rebase stuff might catch us off guard. We'll see. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. I'll go ahead and raid on Twitch. Got like 23 viewers. Got a lot of lurkers. So seems like you guys were like hanging around for the philosophical stuff, which is pretty cool. I like talking about that stuff. And you guys are welcome to chime in anytime. Share your thoughts on it. But we have a lot of those conversations here. We enjoy them. At some point, like my channel, what it's going to be, it's going to be a mix of psychology, philosophy, and coding, and working out, and fitness and stuff. I don't know what the hell it's going to be. It's going to be a bunch of stuff, but it's going to be very different than 2024. So we'll see. All right, guys. Thank you. I'll be live on Thursday, 4 p.m. Central Time. We have a Discord. You're welcome to join it. Really wholesome community because of you guys, not me. But you are welcome to join it. Say hi. But yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. So we're going to go offline on YouTube, and then we're going to raid on Twitch. So hang around on Twitch so we could show another streamer some love. All right, here we go. All right, see you, YouTube.